Be here, a bit awed by that. Every time I listen to that, I think must be talking about somebody else. I've been asked to speak, as you've heard, for the Prostate Cancer Foundation of Australia, and on behalf of the PCFA, I'd like to thank all of those responsible for organising this event, and for those of you who are here in attendance. In particular, I'd like to thank another group that perhaps we haven't mentioned enough, our friends from the Breast Cancer Foundation who are representing the fight against breast cancer. Breast cancer and prostate cancer are often called brother and sister diseases because of their similar etiology. We're inspired by what has been achieved by those working in the area of breast cancer and want to pursue an active collaboration with you in our search for the effective treatment and cure of these cancers. Well, I'm a survivor myself, having had a radical prostatectomy in 1996. And at the time, a handful of men formed a support group at St Vincent's. We were taken completely by surprise at our diagnosis. We were vaguely aware that we had a prostate, generally ignorant of its function, and on being diagnosed, were left asking, prostate cancer? What's that? What's it mean for me? What's it mean for our family? When we were growing up, breast cancer was only spoken of in whispers, if spoken of at all. But by the time we were diagnosed with prostate cancer, the conspiracy of silence in that area had been well and truly broken, thanks to the effort of breast cancer organisations and governments. The word was out that early detection was important and that being diagnosed was not necessarily a death sentence for women. But the same taboo had not been breached for prostate cancer, as our ignorance of it demonstrated. So we decided to do something to change that. We found others similarly inclined and gained the support of public figures and groups like Rotary. Prostate Cancer Foundation of Australia is the result, and I'd like to pay tribute to the many committed members who've given so much to bring this organisation into being and make it effective. Some, like Max Gardner, one of our earlier leaders, worked right up to their deaths, driven by their own predicament to raise the awareness of others who, as a result, might live rather than die. I must say it's great to see Bruce Morrow here, one of our, fortunately, living early Doughty warriors here tonight. I haven't seen for a while. These people had a vision of a world in which men would care enough for their health to be a man and see their doctor before it was too late. Today, the PCFA is a national organisation with a core staff and many volunteers. We have branches in most states, and last year raised $14 million, which is used to support medical research, to sustain over 80 support groups around Australia, as well as to start new ones, and to stimulate a constant stream of awareness-raising events around the country. As a result, men's consciousness is changing, and public awareness is steadily growing. A lot has been accomplished, but as others have said, still more Australian men die of prostate cancer than women die of breast cancer. We have a lot still to accomplish. And this brings me to the DVD. The PCFA sponsors and produces a range of first-rate educational materials designed to raise awareness and to meet the needs of men at various stages of the disease. Perhaps the most critical point of need is at the stage of diagnosis. As the science progresses through research, more treatment options emerge. This is what we need. Differing presenting conditions demand different treatment options. But for the person being diagnosed, the plethora of possibilities can be confusing. Not only do difficult choices have to be made, but these choices are made more difficult by the growing complexity of treatment options, all cloaked in abstruse medical terminology. It's been hard enough for men to work out what the treatment options are, let alone to choose between them. It's a difficult time for men, as we've heard, this stage of diagnosis. They, their partners and families are suffering from shock and fear. In this highly emotional state, they're presented with choices they can't understand, about unfamiliar treatments which carry risks they can't comprehend, but which they know will have major consequences. These are issues of life and death, of potential loss of sexual potency, of possible incontinence, and so on. It's a tough time. And this is where Philip's DVD will fill a vital gap in our educational armoury. Philip has done something quite remarkable in producing this DVD. He's downloaded his process of clinical analysis and judgment, giving us real insight into the decision tree he and other oncologists use to choose from a range of potential treatments, the treatment or subset of treatments best fitted for a particular person's condition. He's demystified the clinical process and expressed it in language the lay person can comprehend. Now, I know that was hard for Philip. He had to remake the whole video because he was told by friends that they couldn't understand what he was talking about. I'll let you in on that secret. So he started again and with assistance, remade the whole video. So there is a huge amount of personal commitment and work in this. So someone who's been diagnosed with prostate cancer can look at the DVD and assess the pros and cons of the treatment choices being offered, the upsides and the downsides, and truly make an informed choice. But Philip's done more than this. He's charted the paths down which a patient can go, but then brought these paths to life by inviting someone who has travelled each treatment path to describe in a very personal way their experience of travelling that path. This is medicine with a human face, and we've seen some of the human faces. We are seeing some of the human faces here. The PCFA is grateful not only to Philip for taking this initiative, but also for these wonderful people who appear on the DVD and so bravely and honestly speak of what it was like to be diagnosed and of the impact of this particular treatment on their experience and the lives of those around them. For those of us diagnosed previously, as you've heard, there was nothing like this available. I speak on behalf of the PCFA in saying that this DVD will make a profound contribution to many men facing the fear and confusion of a prostate cancer diagnosis. Our aim is to have excellent material of this kind available for every stage of treatment, and we're well on the way to achieving that. We're proud to have taken another practical step forward in the struggle to improve men's health. Thank you.